Okay, this video is for the hip capsule car. With all the cars, we have the same rules. Number one rule with them is pain-free. So if I do experience pain, all I'm going to do is limit my range of motion so that I'm stopping before the sensation of pain, not to where I start to feel it or past that point. Rule number two is isolation, because our intent of the car is to get better at moving that one specific joint. And number three, we always want to imagine that the air is denser than it is, so that we move with that control the entire time. And that density is something that we can imagine is really, really dense or just slightly denser than air for a lower intensity car. So for the hip capsule car, we have a few options. When first learning it, I really like to use the wall because it gives you that good feedback to let you know if you're cheating or not. So my setup, I'll be facing the wall. I want to be that perfect distance so that when I flex my knee up, my knee touches the wall, but I'm not reaching for it and I don't feel crammed in. And then from here, I'm going to tense up everything on my standing leg, so my butt, my quad. I'm also going to tense up my abs and then use my hands for balance. I'll very slowly internally rotate the hip as far as I can. Once I max out this internal rotation, I really want to also pay attention to my side here, because it's very easy to cheat if I have a limitation by doing a little side bend and elevating my pelvis there. So really keep that tension throughout my body, get as much internal rotation from just the hip as I can, and then slowly go across to external rotation of the hip. And I can repeat for repetitions. Now for other options, you don't have to be facing a wall. You can simply be standing using something for balance. I can just have one hand on the wall or on the kitchen counter or something for balance if I'm doing these in the morning. I'll flex that hip up to 90 degrees. And then if needed, you can reference with your fingertip, just like we had the wall doing before, to ensure that the knee isn't dropping up or down, side to side throughout the movement. I'll very slowly internally rotate the hip, pause, and then externally rotate the hip and pause. And with each repetition, my goal is going to be to try to make that bigger and bigger and bigger with each rep as I'm going side to side here. Another option would be to do these laying on the ground. It's much easier laying down, so you don't have to lift up against gravity. So if you're tired, fatigued, or wants an easier version and then progress to the standing, laying on your back, all the rules are the same. We're just simply laying down instead of being upright.